right.
Welcome to Honey and Brown.
Welcome. Our fourth time now doing this intro.
Yes.
Anyways, welcome. If you're new here, what do we typically do here?
We do anime and music.
And today we're doing music.
Corner. Yes.
Or the Michael Jackson corner.
Yes.
This is basically a journey that I'm taking my wife on. She has barely heard any Michael Jackson in her life.
Basically, music corner is where he has heard it and I have not.
So Michael Jackson was a huge part of my childhood and has always been a huge influence on my life and my musical taste. So I finally get to play all these songs for her and kind of give her some context and some like the story behind each song to just show how Michael and the legacy of him was, right? This one here I'm very excited to start on. It's called Blood on the Dance Floor, and this is off of an album that came out after the History album. It's called Blood on the Dance Floor, History in the Mix. So basically what Michael did here is he took some of like his favorite songs off of the History album and he did like an electro kind of like European remixes to a lot of them, because I guess when he was touring for the History album, he became very like influenced by like the Euro trance. And also he also did 5 newer songs to kind of like do more like a promotional for the album. And this is one of them. This is one of my favorite songs by him, and this is a very darker sounding song for Michael, especially like the lyrical content. Again, it's called Blood on the Dance Floor, and again, we're not going to go too much into it right now because we typically have lengthy conversations at the end, but yes, let's get on to it. Blood on the Dance Floor off of Blood on the Dance Floor, History in the Mix. How good Michael looks, eh?
I know.
Oh, I love the beat.
Yeah.
His voice.
My favorite voice.
This song, I love it. Ooh. I like the braid he has in the back. I love his suit so much.
No, I love his hair. And I love it so much when he has bangs in front.
Susie and Me. All right, Blood on the Goddamn Dance Floor by Michael Goddamn Jackson. We watched it a few times after again.
Yeah.
So, oh my god, I have a lot to say about this too, but I'll let you go first.
I love this so much. Like I just really love this, like this voice of Michael. Like it's just so hard and so sexy. It's like holy crap.
It's that deepness in it, you know?
I know. And then it's just like I love the whole meaning of this song. Like, you know, it's not only, I feel like it's not only men that can have ulterior motive, like women can have it too. And then I just love it that, like, you know, basically like a man could think that this is love and romance, but the woman is like holding all the cards because they, you know, they already have like plan in place. You might think that it was all roses, but it's actually just blood in the dance floor. It's like, damn, Michael.
Yeah, so no, I mean, okay, so that again, art is interpretive, right? And we all can, when we listen to a song, and you've only heard the song a couple times, right?
Yeah.
And when I first heard this song, I thought the same thing as you. I mean, and the song could mean that as well, right? I mean, it's the song I think has like a double meaning behind it. And it's definitely about a seductress, but we don't know who the seductress is. And I found this really kind of cool quote online, and this is just from like a fan, and I just wanted to read this first and kind of you know, and then we can kind of talk about it. So, and this is from the author. It says, this song is about fame and fame's betrayal. Susie is fame, a seductive force that promises things like love and romance. The author says that to escape the world, all he wanted to do was to enjoy this simple dance, to create art and have his art appreciated. Then comes the backlash and scandals, and fame becomes his worst enemy. It happened fast. The author offers a warning to every hot man taking a chance that it's not about love and romance. Or in other words, any aspiring artist reaching for fame, that is not always going to be pretty.
It actually makes sense.
Yeah, so I mean, a song like this is actually, okay, when Michael made this song, first of all, this song came out in 1997, but originally it was actually kind of created and kind of birthed in 1990 during the Dangerous days when he was recording that album. Michael was working with this new producer at the time. He had left his like longtime collaborator, Quincy Jones, and he's working with this new producer named Ted Riley or Teddy Riley. Very good. And he kind of made that dangerous sound of that album kind of come to life, because like Michael wanted a more like kind of urban, kind of more like funk, you know, kind of sound to it. And this song sounds exactly like it should have been off of Dangerous, but I guess Michael didn't really finish a song at the times, and he finally finished it, you know, around, you know, when he was creating this album. Yeah. But what's kind of cool is that there was an interview with Teddy Riley when he was talking about when he was first trying to come up with the song. He had a meeting with Michael, and Michael asked him, you know, before you come over, and this is I think one of their first times of like them ever meeting, he's like, just bring over some tracks, right? Like I just want to hear kind of what you have to offer, because Michael wanted a specific sound for the Dangerous album, right? Yeah. So that night, or maybe like a couple weeks before he was supposed to meet Michael, a few of his friends asked Teddy Riley to come out to a club with them, right? And he's like, no, I can't. He's like, I have to like work on these tracks. I'm going to be meeting Michael in like a few days or something like that, and I need to get these tracks done. So he never went out. And apparently when his friends went to this club, one of their friends either got stabbed or shot, right? So, and while that was happening, like he obviously found out about it, and I think he incorporated that sound and kind of like the theme of the song into the beat when he had played it for Michael, and he told Michael the story, and Michael was like very fascinated by that, right? Yeah. But to kind of go back to maybe like the meaning of the song, I remember as a kid when I first heard the song, I mean, I wasn't a deep thinker as I am kind of now. I kind of like overthink, but no, I do like that, because you know what? Susie in the song could be either fame or it could be an actual, seductress, right? And Michael has always talked about how fame is kind of like him selling his soul, right, to the devil, right? And Michael has talked a lot about that when you get into like fame, and when you get into like the world of Hollywood, it's a different world, right? It's a very, very different world. It's a different culture that not a lot of people kind of know about. And this song kind of is like a perfect encapsulation of that too, where it's like, Michael just wanted the simple things in life, right? He just wanted to perform and make art and create moments with his fans and just, like build a legacy, right? Yeah. And, Susie was at fame, and, in the beginning, everything was going great for Michael, the biggest star in the world, and people like went crazy for him. And then something happened, right? The world turned on Michael, right? Yeah. And we don't know why. I mean, maybe, he kind of explains that, and I'm going to play a clip in a second that kind of explains a bit more of it. But Michael kind of goes into a description where he says, when they are done with you, they throw you to the side, right? When you are no longer of use to them, you're no longer wanted or needed, right? Yeah. And I think that's kind of what happened. It's like, Michael ran the 80s. He was the biggest megastar in the 80s. And then I think the higher ups or whoever, those that didn't want Michael to get that powerful, because Michael was a very powerful and influential man, right? And I think they wanted Michael to stay at a certain kind of level, and Michael just burst that glass ceiling, right? So I think it's kind of like, okay, we made you famous, we're gonna take it away. And they tried to break Michael's career in the 90s, and I think that's what the song is kind of talking about. It's kind of fitting because it's called Blood on the Dance Floor, and like that's kind of a simple title, but it's also very deep if you really break it down, right? Because on the dance floor is where Michael spent most of his career. Yeah. And that also caused cost Michael his soul and his heart, and he spilt his blood for us and for everybody to enjoy his music, right? And while he was dancing on that floor, there was blood on it, right? And we don't know whose blood that was, but it was his blood that he had to give up and that he had to sacrifice, right? And I think, he's talking about like how like Susie got your number, and and like she got your baby. And I remember as a kid when I heard that, it's like she got your baby, which will play right here. She got your baby. It happened fast. If you only erase the past. When he says that, I don't know why, as a kid I was like, holy cow, that's the most badass line I've ever heard in my life. The way he says it in like the deepness of his voice, I was blown away. But I think it's like when this is like she got your baby, that's like fame giving him maybe like his children, or I don't know, like I don't know. I mean, I just like that line to me always kind of was a big line for me, because I'm like, what is Michael referring to where it's like she got your baby and it happened fast? It was almost like, I don't know, like this song is basically Michael kind of explaining to the world the breakdown of his fame, of his fame. Yeah. And like, when the devil comes calling, it wants its it wants its payment, and like, I think every artist that gets into the music industry does sell their soul, right, to get there. And I think Michael, he tried to expose a lot of the music industry and a lot of the garbage behind it, and they didn't like it. But I just want to play this one clip first, and it kind of puts together what I'm kind of talking about.
And I really want you to hear what I have to say. The tradition of great performers, from Sammy Davis Jr. to James Brown to Jackie Wilson to Fred Astaire, Gene Kelly. The story is usually the same, though. These guys work really hard at their craft, but the story ends the same. They usually are broken, torn, and usually just sad. And the story is very sad in the end because the companies take advantage of them. They really do.
So yeah, you can kind of see what Michael was talking about, right? Like, you know, he was talking about these big legends and like the greats of, you know, the entertainment industry, and then, you know, all like the story always kind of ends up the same, right? They are left broken, alone, and just used, right?
Yeah.
So
That is sad.
yeah, I mean, this song has so many layers to it, and I just, as a kid, I never understood the layers, but you know, as I'm getting older and I'm like, you know, we're doing this for the channel, I'm really like dissecting these songs a lot more now, because Michael's songs aren't just songs. They're always like, it's always moments, and it's always him trying to like tell a story, right?
And I find that that's always like true. Like in the very beginning of careers, like, you know, like when you're first working into a job, like the first few months, like is so good. But then when, you know, when something happened, it's like it's so easy for everyone to just turn on you. And that's kind of what happened, is like, you know, for Michael, like when people saw that it was easier to take advantage of him, to get money from him, they, like, you know, and so they turned that around and they made him like a monster. And it's just, and then they took advantage of that, and everyone was so quick to like jump on the bandwagon that of like believing everything that was said about him, and it was so good with his fame, and but then it came with such a big price.
Yeah, and the big price, you know, he kind of mentions it in the song where, you know, where he says like, you know, she got you with like 7 inches in, which is basically like a knife, right? And like when Fame or Susie wants to come and collect, or when they're done with you, what do? They kill you. They get rid of you in whatever capacity, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what happened with, or that's kind of what they try to do with Michael, right? They try to, metaphorically at first, like try to kill him and try to destroy his legacy and his career. And it didn't work, because Michael's power and Michael's legacy was just too big for any man to ever get rid of, right? But you know, you see in the song where he's talking about, you know, like blood is on the dance floor, blood is on the knife, you know, it's such a, you know, I don't know if he was ever fearful, because I know towards the end of his life, you know, his sisters and some of his family members were saying that Michael kept saying stuff like, they're out to get me, like if I die, you know, it's not going to be by an accident, right? Like they are trying to kill me, right? And it's kind of sad when he kind of like made this song, like he made it in a very uplifting kind of manner in terms of like the beat and the rhythm. It's like if you just put the song on and you didn't really pay attention to the lyrics, you just kind of like listen to it, you're like, man, like Michael still has the ability to make a hit song, but there's so much darkness, there's so much like hidden meaning behind this song. And it's, you know, at its simple core, it's just, you know, it's about Susie being Fame, and Susie promising you that, you know, your life is going to be great and you're never gonna have to worry about anything, and you're going to bring so much joy, right? And they offer you this love and romance, right? But then as soon as they are done with you, as soon as you no longer serve a purpose, they get rid of you, right? And they leave that blood on the dance floor. And that's what Michael was saying, right? Like, you know, he gave up so much of his life to entertain us all, and he left his blood on the dance floor, because that's where his life was, right?
Yeah.
His life was always on that stage. So, you know, but it didn't break him, you know, he still continued on, he still made music, he still helped those around him, but you know,
but
Fame was always ready to like collect.
Yeah, but it's still like, you know, like in his mind, like a lot of like the paparazzi was like living rent free in his mind, and it's just like broke his mental health. And like not able to sleep, the anxiety, the depression of it. It's hard for a man to take that. Like,
and we'll never know truly what Michael was going through internally. I mean, you know, we can watch all the interviews and we can read all the stuff about it, but at the end of the day, like we'll never truly know what he had what he had physically and what he had mentally gone through, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't even imagine 1 or 2% of that pain. I would fold under pressure with that much, and he didn't. He had so much on his back, right? And like at the end of the day, all he wanted to do was perform and just change the world, right?
I know.
And Blood on the Dance Floor, it's such an awesome song.
I know,
like,
it's so like upbeat, and like, you know, you just want to dance to it.
And then but then when you really like listen to it, you're like, oh damn, like Michael, you know, it's just like with Smooth Criminal, right? If you actually listen to that song, there's a very dark meaning behind that song, but that song is so iconic that people don't really stop and listen to like the lyrics and realize how dark that song is, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I love about this song. Like, I love the title of it, Blood on the Dance Floor, and the album cover, which I showed you. The album cover is just phenomenal. One of my favorite, like, I think Dangerous has the best album cover, but Blood on the Dance Floor, I love it. You know, it's very dystopian almost, or not really dystopian, but it's very like, it's like Michael is on a dance floor, but to me it almost looks like a chessboard, and it's like Michael's life was a game, right? And behind him is this very kind of futuristic noir as well, kind of city behind him. It's just a very beautiful album cover, right? And I love the suit that Michael's wearing in this music video. It looks so good in this one.
I know, I love his hair. I just really love like when he has like a small, like, and you know, small short bangs in his face. Like, I love it. It's like, looks so slick, Michael.
Like this song in this music video, like I know we've been talking about like the metaphorical part of the song and stuff like that, but like just to get onto the song and to like the music video, it's very like stylish. It's very slick. I love that it's almost like a very simple music video. It's just, you know, it kind of seems like he's in like
in a club,
in like an underground club, and he's being kind of like, I don't know if he's being seduced or he's being kind of like misled by this one lady in the video, but it's just very good. Like I just love the whole motif and the whole theme of it. It just looks so like it's like a working, walking piece of art when I look at the music video, right? It's like a movement. I love it, you know. And this song is like fantastic, and I cannot wait till we go more into like the history album and more of the Blood on the Dance Floor album, because there's some really heavy songs and every song kind of tells a story, right? Like Michael around this time from like 1995 onwards, even in the Dangerous era, but I think from like 95 onwards, Michael was really like he changed his style a lot, and he was really trying to expose a lot of the music industry and just a lot of the world in general. Very different Michael from the 80s in terms of like his musical choice, and you know, I think he was trying to be more like, he was trying to stand up now and trying to, you know, show the world what it's really like, you know, in the music industry, or just what it's like in the world, right?
Yeah, so, because like there was no other way for Michael to like really say what he wanted to say. Like there were no press coverage that was gonna, you know, say whatever he actually wants to say and actually show it that way. They, you know, press always like kind of like distort it for him, but with his music he can control that. I really wish he was alive at this time, that, you know, he would have like prosper and like actually have like a social media platform that we can follow and hear him.
I don't know, I don't think he would have done much on social media. I think he would have wanted just been left alone, to be honest, you know. But right now Michael's legacy is huge right now. A lot of this younger generations are starting to appreciate it, so I hope they hear this song and they actually listen to his lyrics. Like the thing about Michael is that he does everything almost to perfection, like writing and harmony and like the beat and the lyrics, everything like that. It's perfect, but like you really have to listen to his lyrics because he's such a good lyricist, and he writes in a very like, and this is a perfect example of it in Blood on the Dance Floor. It's very seductive the way he writes. When you listen to him, you stop and you just have no other choice but to listen to him and like follow him. He's very charismatic in his words and the way he moves and his songs, and he's very unique. You know, so
he's just very intelligent, and then like the way he speaks, there's no wasted words, and he's just like, and you see how good he is, how pure he is, like you know, that you can't just help yourself but follow him, because like of course you have to, like, you know, he's just that powerful. He's
just that charismatic. He's a magnet, right? There's an aura around him, right? But anyways, thank you guys again for watching
thank
this.
you.
Really love this song, and I'm very happy I can finally play this song around you now, because I really wanted to listen to the song for a while.
I know he hates whenever he can't like play the song, like MJ songs anymore.
She's always around me, so I can't not listen to it. But Blood on the Dance Floor to me is one of my top 5 favorite songs by Michael. I mean, that list is always changing, but Blood on the Dance Floor has a very special place in my heart, just because I remember the moments I was listening to this Blood on the Dance Floor, A History in the Mix. I remember my mom buying me this album. I remember just looking at the album cover, and I remember listening to this song because it's the first track. And I remember watching the music video on Much Music and on MTV and stuff like that. But this album is very, very cool. It's very like, a lot of the remixes aren't the greatest, because Michael was going through a very like Euro trance type thing. But the 5 songs he did that are like kind of like new, awesome, and we're gonna react to all of them, so don't worry. We're gonna react to all of them. Ghosts is one I cannot wait for, but I think that's more of like a Halloween thing, because it's like a 42-minute short music video, or like a short film. And it's such, oh man, that's a very powerful song and very powerful music video. But anyways, thank you guys again for watching, and I cannot wait to hear all your guys' like interpretation and, you know, what you thought of this song and of the music video and of Blood on the Dance Floor in general, right? But yeah, thank you guys so much, and we will see you in the next video.
See you.
They really thought that my mind is always on music and dancing, and it usually is, but they never thought that this performer, myself, would outthink them.
Yeah!